2020 is right around the corner, and it doesn't just signal a new year, it signals a whole new decade. So, with that, I thought I would make a quick, fun little video about my favorite films of the decade. The 2010s gave us a lot of great movies, so I'm just going to go over some of my favorites. I'm not saying these are the best films of the 2010s. I know not everybody will agree with me, and that's fine. But these are my favorites. So let's just go through the years, why don't we? 2010 was definitely Inception. I'm a huge Christopher Nolan fan. I think he is the best director working in Hollywood, and I think Inception is a brilliantly crafted heist thriller that also serves as a science fiction film in many ways. And yes, that movie has a lot of exposition in the first act, but it's there for a reason. It's there so you get the huge payoff in the fantastic second and third acts. Inception is one of those movies that I can watch over and over again and get something new from it every time. 2011, Drive. I know Drive was polarizing when it came out, and I know not a lot of people are crazy about it, but I personally love Drive. I think it has a great performance from Ryan Gosling, and I think Nicholas Winding Refn displayed some truly remarkable filmmaking in that movie. His use of the four planes in a frame is fantastic. The blocking in the film is purposeful. It's perfectly paced, and it's just very dramatic and tense throughout. I love Drive. 2012 would be Argo. I know Argo is not everybody's cup of tea, but I liked it. I actually think it's one of Affleck's better directorial efforts, and I found it to be really compelling. Even though there were substantial changes to the actual Iran hostage crisis, in terms of the way it was portrayed within the film, I still think Argo was an incredibly entertaining movie, and it had that added element of Hollywood being in the movie, so it was enjoyable for me because I like that kind of stuff. 2013 was, and this is probably the hardest one for me to decide. 2013, my favorite movie was The Wolf of Wall Street. Again, I know when the film was released, there were reviews that called it a celebration of excess, what have you, but I found it to be pretty great. I thought it was pretty good. I like The Wolf of Wall Street. I think it is actually Leonardo DiCaprio's best performance in his entire career. He deserved the Oscar for The Wolf of Wall Street, not The Revenant. Wolf of Wall Street, Leo was sensational. It has all the Scorsese trademarks, tracking shots, voiceover, all that good stuff. I think it's a great movie. It's a long movie, but if you can get through it, I think it's a really rewarding watch. 2014, this was also a toss-up because I want to say Interstellar because I love Christopher Nolan and I loved Interstellar, but I'm going to say that it was actually Nightcrawler. Jake Gyllenhaal is my favorite actor, and I think he delivered a sensational performance in Nightcrawler. It was an absolute tour de force for him, changed his career. It was breathtaking, and Nightcrawler, I think, is just a fantastically shot film. The cinematography is perfect. I love how it gives LA this incredible new, almost steel chrome sheen to it. Yet the subject matter, and especially our lead character, Lou Bloom, played by Jake Gyllenhaal, is very seedy and shady and just not trustworthy at all. He is a sociopath, so the contradiction from the aesthetic to the characterization, I think, is really unique, and it's something that I really like. Nightcrawler, definitely my favorite of 2014. 2015 was Sicario. Sicario, I think Denis Villeneuve is one of the best young filmmakers working today, and he is a rising star. His rise has been meteoric. It's incredible. He's so talented. He's such a good director, and Sicario, I think, is his best work. apart from maybe Blade Runner 2049. But Sicario, nevertheless, is a really entertaining crime thriller that also acts as a sort of spy film political thriller. And I think it just really touches on some issues that other films try to speak on, but don't really do so with the same level of nuance and ambiguity that Sicario does. And of course, Sicario does have that fantastic performance from Emily Blunt, something the sequel did not have. And yes, Benicio del Toro is also fantastic in Sicario. And so is Josh Brolin. The screenplay is perfect. The cinematography is great. The direction is, without a doubt, fantastic. Sicario is just a great film. If you haven't watched it, I would recommend you do. 2016, oh my god. La La Land. If you guys don't know me on a personal level, one thing you will find out about me is that I adore La La Land. I love that movie to death. I think it's fantastic. I think it should have won Best Picture without question. There was Moonlight winning Best Picture was a complete farce. La La Land is spectacular. The music, the choreography, the cinematography, the use of the color purple in the movie, it's just beautiful. Emma Stone delivering a career-defining performance. Ryan Gosling, Chazelle's direction, it's all just so beautiful. La La Land makes me feel so heavy in my chest every time I watch the movie. I don't cry, but I feel sad. But it moves me. It moves me, and I love it. I love La La Land. It should have won Best Picture. So, 2017 is without a doubt Baby Driver. This was a hard year for me because I wanted to say Dunkirk, but I think Dunkirk is one of those films that needs to be watched on a big screen. And if I'm being completely honest with you, I think the film is technically a mastercraft. It is absolutely masterful in terms of direction. Nolan is incredible. He is a director that is in complete control of his craft in Dunkirk, and that is on full display throughout that movie. However, I've only seen Dunkirk once after seeing it in theaters, and I saw it in the 70 millimeter IMAX, and it doesn't make for a great home watch. So, needless to say, as much as I love Dunkirk, my favorite film of 2017 is Baby Driver. I love Baby Driver. It's almost like a musical. Baby Driver is such a good movie. Edgar Wright is one of my favorite filmmakers, and Baby Driver, I think, although it's a little bit underwritten, is a great movie. It's so entertaining. It's a fun watch. It's just a feel-good movie. It's a good heist film. It's an interesting character study about ableism, actually. I think, again, the screenplay is not the greatest, but you know where Baby Driver makes up for it is its technical achievements, the sound editing, the sound mixing, the blocking, the way everything is synchronized to the music. And if you watch the film with headphones on, there's actually the constant ringing to replicate the sound of tinnitus that Baby experiences. And that it's little things like that that just make me really appreciate the movie, from the opening car chase down to, again, the choreography of the actors' movements being synchronized with the music. It's amazing to see. I love Baby Driver. I could watch it anytime. 2018, 8th grade, without a doubt. I think it's an incredibly important film. I think it's a film that our society needed to see, and I wish it made more money. I wish more people watched it, because 8th grade is the most honest and sincere depiction of anxiety that I have seen in a film ever. And as someone who suffers from anxiety, it made me cry for about 20 minutes after watching that movie. And I wish more people would give it a shot, because it is not only a well-made film, but it's an important film. It has something to say, and I think it does so very, very effectively. Bo Burnham did an incredible job for his directorial debut. He wrote a fantastic screenplay, and I think it's a really, really honest depiction of Gen Z, in addition to the way social media impacts our lives. combine all of that with the message of anxiety and eighth grade is truly, truly an important film. You know, if you haven't seen it, please watch it. It is a good movie for this world to have. 2019, this is kind of a toss-up, but I'm going to say it was Knives Out. I love crime films. I love detective stories. Knives Out gave me everything I wanted and more. If you watch my review, you know how much I loved that movie. It was an old school whodunit, and I just ate up every second of it. Daniel Craig was fantastic. Ana de Armas was fantastic. Rian Johnson is quickly becoming one of my favorite directors, if he isn't already. Knives Out is fantastic. One of the best films of the year. My favorite of the year so far. A close second would be Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. And I know there's some criticisms of that movie because the plot is aimless or whatever people say, but you know what? I like movies about people. And Once Upon a Time in Hollywood gives me that. But that being said, I still think Knives Out edges it out just a little bit. So Knives Out is going to take the cake for this year. So those are my favorite films of the decade. Some honorable mentions would be, it's hard to come up with them off the top of my head, but Prisoners from 2013, Blade Runner 2049, Dunkirk, Interstellar, Mad Max Fury Road. That was a great film. Manchester by the Sea, Arrival. There were so many good movies this decade. Incredibles 2. I waited so long for that. Moana. I love Moana. Zootopia. I love Zootopia. I think it's one of the best Disney films ever made. So many good movies this decade, guys. I could go on and on here, but I won't because I don't want to sit here for 30 minutes, and I know you don't want to watch for 30 minutes. So as the year comes to a close, I just want to thank everybody that has watched my videos, and I want to thank my subscribers. Thank you to everybody who came to this channel this year. I know I really struggled with being consistent when I started this channel last year, and I struggled with it this year as well because I tried to get it going early in the year, but then I had appendicitis and I needed emergency surgery, and then I was really struggling after that. But when I made that live action Disney remake video essay, people seemed to really respond to that, and I can't tell you how much that meant to me. So I would also like to give a quick shout out to Jacob, who constantly watches my videos and comments on them as well. And I really appreciate that interaction, so thank you for that. It means more to me than you know. So thank you guys for watching, and I hope that you have a good end of the year. Oh, and you know what? Let's just throw it out there. You want to know the worst movie of the decade? Batman v Superman: Dawn of Justice. Okay. All right, I just had to get that out of my system. Okay, so everybody, I hope you have a good end of the year. Here's to a good decade, right? The 2020s. That's got to be special, right? So thank you guys for watching, and I will see you next year. May your heart be your guiding key. Kingdom Hearts 3. Oh yeah, just stay in here.